SpongeBob SquarePants Creature from the Krusty Krab is a 3D action platformer with a suite of surreal set pieces and sensational game mechanics, placing foremost emphasis on style. We're talking grade A back-of-the-box fodder, like smashing a city as Giant Plankton, driving around in grungy hot rods, pummeling baddies as Super Patrick, and they even squeeze in some actual game design here or there. Rarely. Like, it is very easy to write off Creature from the Krusty Krab as superficial, especially compared to Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie game, or even Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Still, we'll talk about the positives first. Creature from the Krusty Krab harbors appreciable attention to atmosphere. The sheer volume of unique assets is impressive on its own, and they're woven into expansive, cohesive, and simultaneously incoherent dreamscapes. There is something special about fissures tearing through the earth as you hop and bop around a variety of otherworldly auto repair shops, or busting up baddies in a paper-thin city of self-important Patrick clones. In general, there's a high quantity of high-quality audiovisual stimulation, and there's no off switch. You're exposed to so much of it so rapidly for so long, it all bleeds into a haze of white noise. In a way, that's entirely appropriate given the game's premise. Our protagonists are all lost in an endless sea of dreams, and nothing is meant to be taken too literally. It's a perfect excuse to stuff as much senseless spectacle in your face as possible, but while they were at it, it couldn't have hurt to offer more substance. When you push past the novelty, nearly every mechanic, story hook, set piece, and level theme is seriously shallow. For example, let's take the driving segments. They're all checkpoint races with generous timers, the AI opponents are heavily scripted objects you can't directly interact with, and any nuanced mechanics like boosting, drifting, or even braking are entirely superfluous. Just hold gas and point yourself where you want to go. No thinking required. But how about the on-rail shooting segments? Well, the game flashes giant arrows on screen telling you how to avoid literally every obstacle, and your targets all have equally obtrusive red aura around them. No thinking required. What about the Giant Plankton gameplay? Well, just rapidly tap the attack button or occasionally use a screen clear when you get bored. No thinking required. And the core 3D platforming? It's got brainless, repetitive button-mashing combat, pathfinding without any finding, puzzles without any puzzling, platforming without any precision. It's all very dreary. No thinking required. I want to stress, so much gameplay, especially in the first 2 hours, involves standing right where the game indicates, pressing the appropriate button, and then being congratulated for your thoughtless servitude. It doesn't feel like a game, it feels like chores splattered in paradoxically high-energy paint. How many blocks do I need to push along predetermined linear paths before you let me out of this prison? Things eventually briefly get better in the second act. You get some 2D sections that mercifully require real dexterity, and they play as fast as your skill level will allow. Follow that with the best 3D platforming in the game, wherein enemy placement, environmental hazards, and level layout all get a glow up. Yeah, there's a blissful 90-minute period right in the middle of the game where your active mental engagement is encouraged and respected. Then it sadly dovetails directly into more mindless mashing all the way to the finish line. All of these flaws would be perfectly forgivable if the game were just brief about it. Shallow, sugary spectacle has its place in precise, small doses, but every one of these tedious adventures goes on for ages. When your selling point is stylistic novelty, you can't drive that novelty into the ground with repetitive busywork like this. Creature from the Krusty Krab desperately needed a higher number of gameplay styles to switch between, or shorter playtime, or more design depth, or all three. Preferably all three, but I want to be reasonable. Look, despite how it may sound, this isn't shovelware or anything, it's not a low-effort cash grab, and it's leagues above the likes of Hero Pants. This is an original title based on a beloved property, harboring clear creativity and respect for the license. Things just went wrong in execution. It's not unplayable or torturous, but it is often tedious and bland, especially as compared to its contemporaries.